I'll start the video with this. I love Star Wars. I'm a huge fan. But the last Star Wars thing I loved wholeheartedly was The Last Jedi. But after that, I honestly kind of fell out of love with this franchise that meant so much to me. And with the rise of streaming platforms such as Disney Plus, we were exposed to more Star Wars stories. And I'm yet to see the Clone Wars and Bad Batch, but The Mandalorian was nice, and I did not particularly love the Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's why when Andor was announced, I had no particular interest towards it. I mean, why would I be? I did not believe that I would ever get that Star Wars feeling once again. But then I heard that it was getting positive reception. People who I followed raved about how great this show was, and then it began to pique my interest. Did Star Wars really get back up on its feet? And through word of mouth mostly, I decided to finally watch it, and man, was everyone right. This is a great show that made me fall in love with Star Wars once again, and here's why. Firstly, I feel like one of this franchise's main problems was how it could not let go of the past. Everything or the other somehow had to tie into the Jedi and the Sith, the Force and the Skywalkers. But Star Wars has so much more to offer. They have a whole galaxy to explore, and Andor does just that. This time, there is none of what I just said, barely any of it. Andor understands that there's much more to this galaxy than what has been explored countless times. There's very few references and cameos. You see a K2SO model briefly, and Saw Gerrera for a couple scenes, mainly because he had a pivotal part to play. But other than that, the series mainly relies on its new characters to carry the story. Although they are not completely fleshed out, it never hurts the series. We are made to realize the relationship with our main character Andor and how these dynamics affect the story. It explores uncharted territory in this universe and expands on the ever building lore. It doesn't rehash things we have already seen or try to go bigger. It scales down things a little as we get to see life from a different perspective. The writing is obviously excellent, but one specific bit of writing that I love is how this series implies and establishes character dynamics. For example, in the first episode, Andor needs help from his friend Brasso by asking him to lie about his whereabouts. Now, the conventional and boring way to approach this would have been if Andor tells Brasso that he needs to lie about where he was. But instead, Brasso asks where Andor was, and he tells Brasso that they were out drinking. We know for a fact that this has not actually happened, and we instantly realize that Andor is making up a scenario for Brasso to tell if he's asked about it. Not only does this force us to pay closer attention and piece the puzzle ourselves, but it gives us an idea of their relationship and how well they know each other. There are many other similar instances where we realize that certain characters have had a long history that we have never seen just through the use of a simple, seemingly throwaway dialogue. It uses subtext to make us care about these characters and give them an innate sense of depth and history, which only makes the story more rich. The production design and cinematography too are phenomenal. All the locations feel authentic and lived in. The meticulously crafted sets and costumes make the planets feel like they have actual civilizations with their own communities and respective customs and traditions that we get to see throughout the show. That's the beauty of Star Wars, how it borrows a lot from our world and makes something new out of it in such a way that it's fresh and relatable. The production design is aided by the beautiful lighting. Shooting on location benefited the show in immersing us into the many worlds these characters visit. Many times there are these extremely high angle close ups that really let us register the emotion on a face to capture a fleeting moment of a feeling. It's mostly always used to put us in the heads of these people and feel what they feel. The filmmaking and shot choices ground these fantastical concepts into something we can understand and feel because many times we get to see things from the perspective of a character as we get to be in their shoes. This makes for greater emotional investment as we are seeing things how they are seeing it, rather than from the perspective of an objective, omniscient viewer. And I like how no matter how many different places we go, we always explore 3 to 4 locations thoroughly over the course of 12 episodes. Each location feels like a major character. Even the plots and subplots are engaging and captivating. Rarely is a scene or moment wasted. Andor's actions in the opening of the series drives his fate throughout this season. The Empire really feels like a genuine threat to our heroes as we see how driven and motivated the Imperials are and how merciless they can be when tasked with achieving their goals. But we also get a sense of how ignorant and careless they are due to their power. Their carelessness comes from their apathy towards the oppressed, and that's exactly what is used against them by the rebels. Autonomy needs constant supervision, and there will be slip ups and cracks. No matter what's going on, the series always made clear that the Empire is the driving antagonistic force throughout the galaxy. It unites every character through a shared cause. The Mon Mothma storyline is excellent as we get to see how her luxury and power is sometimes her greatest liability, as she has to secretly conduct meetings with Luthen. I love the whole segment of how she has to put up an act of buying antiques when she has to come to talk to Luthen about their plans. We get to see her struggle with fitting in within her own family and how she's under constant supervision due to her stature as senator. The other subplot of Andor trying to break out of prison is also fantastic. We spend many episodes of Andor just getting the hang of it, which in turn also lets us get the hang of how everything in the prison functions. And as we slowly learn more darker truths surrounding it, the end is extremely satisfying as it ties into the greater theme of the narrative about how oppression breeds rebellion. This series kept on intercutting between these many plot lines, following different characters that all feel like real people with their own set of beliefs and experiences. We get a greater grasp of this galaxy wide oppression and what different people feel about it. Some are in it just for survival, some believe in the cause of fighting back. Andor is someone who despises the Empire but is indifferent towards acting on it. He would rather be unbothered by them than fight back. But throughout the series, as he learns just how unjust and cruel the Empire is and how motivated people are to fight, he slowly changes into a rebel, believing in the cause. It takes this person and gives him more depth and character as we get to see him make choices throughout the course of the season as a result of the situations he finds himself in, and in the end, we learn more about him. That's what the entire series is about at the end of the day. It's about learning to stand up and make the choice to fight for freedom together. That's what the rebellion stands for. It talks about revolution and how it happens when regular people decide to do something about their situation that they wish to change for the better. It's about realizing that they can't stand a society that's slowly choking them. Its focus is primarily on regular people, and that is reflected in the writing, production design, and use of perspective to give the filmmaking a more personal touch. The world building feels real. We see many people just going about their daily lives that have nothing to do with the external plot of the show. But that mundanity, that regularness is vital as it's these very everyday people that we have gotten a sense of that decide to refuse their oppressive situation and take action against it. It shows the moral and ethical dilemmas that these people face on a daily basis, which grounds the themes and concepts into something relatable. Andor is one of the best things to come out of Star Wars, and it has revitalized my love for this franchise that not only means so much to me but countless other people. This show could have been the prequel for the sake of it and not done much with the endless possibilities that Star Wars has to provide, but instead it's an excellently written, directed, performed, and mature Star Wars show with something to say. The love and acceptance the show has received is completely deserved. I cannot wait to see what they have in store for season 2, and I hope they take whatever they have learned from this season and do it much better. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. You know the drill, you know what to do. It'd mean the world to me if you would support my channel and my work. And yeah, have a wonderful day.